5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve. This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedy, and God knows what else. Hold on!
It's quiet here. Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. I got my hair combed just for this show, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Yes, indeed. You know, I went from having long hair to short hair, and it looks about the same in all fairness to haircuts and things of that nature. So it is a beautiful Friday. Here we are in the middle of May. It's hard to believe the year is almost halfway over. I'm just adjusting here to see if there's any information available right now about. I hear things on the radio or online and just wonder, is this true in any way? I know we all do. So I'm just queuing up. We'll see what's happening. It is Friday. It's 4 o'clock, and I feel good. I'm healthy. I am wealthy, sort of. No, I'm not wealthy. I'm just another schmuck in the world, but I feel wealthy anyway, and that's half of. It's like an old Saturday Night Live bit. It is better to feel it look marvelous than to be marvelous. So that's kind of where I've ended up at this point in my family history, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I am looking. I'd see we have nobody joining us quite yet, but that's okay. You'll be back tonight or whenever. And it's funny, sometimes some of the friends I've got who watch the show regularly, every once in a while just throw up some show from like forever ago. And until 6 months ago, I've never really gone back and looked at any of our old shows. And sometimes when I do, it's fairly entertaining, but not for the reasons that I usually enjoy doing the show. Sometimes it's, just, it was like I look at what it's like the first time you do anything. And there were some shows, including the very first show, where I was using a phone and an iPad, and I had no control things here. So it was kind of, I had nothing to switch between ads and transitions and things like that. And, it was kind of weird for a while. Um, Nowadays, I had a producer for a while, and that was very cool. And the reason I'm talking about this is just I'm getting some information gathered in front of me for us to talk about. I'm also going to go ahead and, after the first 15 minutes, which is my monologue, and since I don't have an incredible amount of things to talk about, I'll be bringing our co-host, Mr. Bill, will be joining us today, and he is our statistician, and I don't know what we'll call him. He's a statistician. He's our comedy relief for me. No, he actually is a great guy, a great bass player, and a cool guy all around. Plays with the band Legion of Prague. It means anybody who knows what a Rickenbacker sounds like because they like Yes, you'll like this cat. He's got a bunch of other basses too. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we'll talk about this later, I'll ask him. I think he has an aluminum necked guitar from the 80s. Was it a Kramer? Anyway, I'd have to ask him, but they were really awesome. They had aluminum in them and they sustained for a year. But at any rate, he'll be joining us in just a few minutes. The ad changes today will probably be the last time you see the majority of the ads we've been using since Moses brought the things down off the hill, the tablets. Remember, he dropped a few, and that was written by a Jewish historian, Mr. Mel Brooks. He has certain visions of what really happened up on the mount. So, for my friends who are, fans of the Old Testament, remember, a few of those things got lost on the way down. So sometimes you may have a loophole. I would suggest you talk to your rabbi about it. You might be able to. And if you're Catholic, well, you might go talk to the priest, have a little confession thing. I don't know about anybody else, but, is confession kind of silly or what? I've always thought this since I was like 12. The guy in the booth knows my name. He knew my age. Like, what am I got to confess about? I used to You'd be terrified. What the hell am I confessing to? I didn't really do anything bad. Hello, Susan. Our old friend Susan Fine. Welcome. How are you, Susan? I hope you're having a beautiful day with you and Pete, looking out at the beautiful river, which usually Susan's been a fan of the show for a long time, and my usual backdrop is the Queensboro Bridge, I believe, right outside her home. Beautiful shot of the river at night, and it's glad to see you come in. Uh, Today, we really don't have a whole lot of things. While I'm going through this brief monologue, I'm just looking to see. All the bad news is freaking out the front page and this and that. It's just going to hell. Uh, of course, politically, it's just so crazy. I usually comment here and there, but today I'm just looking at it. I don't really see anything that it's Friday, so as I've commented before, many people tend to release everything on Friday afternoon after 4 so that they have a larger than usual deception plan, or do they just have something they want to bury? Like, say, remember, Anthony Weiner's laptop, going back to fun old history. You know, I don't understand people with computers, how they don't, like, they write things to people. Sometimes they send them photos of themselves or certain parts of themselves that, I mean, believe me, folks, I'm not a prude, but I don't think the best way to win friends and influence people is to send them a picture of my junk unsolicited. In fact, I don't have that happen to me, thank God, but, it has happened a long time ago, but that was weird. And people are weird, I don't mind anybody. Oh, it's the Williamsburg Bridge. I'm sorry, Susan. Thank you for clearing that up. I hate driving over both of the ones I've just mentioned. Driving over any of the narrow bridges in New York. The GW is great. The Outer Bay Bridge is pretty good once you're on it. But at any rate, getting back, let's see. We have Trump left with, it's just a lot of bad news. Provoke Wall Street astonishment, 3,700 trades today. UAE is building cages to stop Iran drone attacks. Okay. Collapse of Cuba, and they're going to indict Castro. I really am a fan of Cuba becoming a great place to go. As we know, my former guest on the show, the grandson of Meyer Lansky, and I talked about this a lot. We've talked several times about. Oh, okay. I don't even hear it, Bill, but I'll keep talking. It's funny. In our secret chat, we have info that's highly important. It's very secret and hush hush, though, people. If I told you it was about, well, the rules have changed. I used to have to say I have to kill you, but now, it's sort of like getting 300 Hail Marys for thinking lewd thoughts. There's always a way to kind of slide out of it. That's why, if you have a little mix of Judaism and Catholicism, you've got it perfectly made. There's an easy exit. Bless you, my son. Dominus, Dominus. Go fucking give me 40 Hail Marys, 20 Our Fathers, and forget about it. Don't think those thoughts, you little bastard. I don't know what to tell you, people. Times have really changed. Priests are different. Some of the stuff I see in some churches, I just go, that's all I can say. Um, but it's a big world out there, and whatever you believe, I am down with it. Hope you're happy. As long as you're not bugging anybody with it, have fun. Buy the ticket, enjoy the ride, and let's see. We are here at 1609. I'm sitting here grasping, peeps. There's not really much on here. Uh, we have a MAGA influencer and her or his boyfriend charged in an alleged racist assault in London. How does that make national or world news, I wonder? Because frankly, I don't really give a crap. It's like every fight and bar stool incident in New York City on a given day. We could have a whole New York Times saying, picture of shame, the journal of shame for, Gotham City, the Gotham Shame Journal, and just take all the random assholes that go on during the day and we see when we're out walking. You take a picture of it, and you send it to the asshole of the day, and you are right, Susan. But you send it asshole of the day, and then the audience could kind of vote on it or send in pictures of someone they met who topped that. And we could have categories for them. This schmuck drove by and doused me with water, which anybody who's worked in New York in the wintertime has had to have had happen at least once, if not dozens of times. Um, Getting people to just be courteous is it's very difficult. We have a great city, and the way I look at it, mayors come and go, and the laughs continue. So whatever's happening now, in 4 years, I can't make any predictions, but I will predict not a re-election for the gentleman, Mr. Mondani, at this point. You can bet me on that. We can do it on the futures markets, and lay a few coins out on it and get a laugh or two. So we have here Weinstein had a mistrial today. 48-hour deliberation, no verdict. And with that, I am going to bring the great bass player and talent, the man, the myth, the legend. Here he is, Bill Quaid.
Out.
How are you, man? Welcome. Hey, I got to give you a great intro, man. This is show business. So what's going on, man? How are you?
I am doing okay, Neil. Thank you. How's everything there?
It's really beautiful. Today has been such an exceptional day. The past week's been really good. Got a lot of things done. Got a good bill of health. I continue to drop a couple pounds or so every week or two. Feeling good. I did one of those things sometimes we guys do where you start feeling good, you're working out, and I just started doing these things like this, like 150 of them instead of the normal 60 or so. And
go visit with Hans and Franz. They
Annie said, she said, "You better not do that. You're gonna hurt yourself." And I'm like, yeah. I'm rocking, I'm just pounding along.
She's
I got to 100. Oh, I wish I hadn't have done that. I'm going to just say it clearly to anybody. Man, I've been gimping around all week. Felt worse than when I started, but nonetheless, now it's after 5 days. I'm starting to feel like somebody just hit me with a regular hammer instead of a sledgehammer on my piriformis. And like, it's just from the center of my back down the cheek of my ass.
We're getting to the age where we had to be careful with that stuff. I was playing catch with my grandson last fall, and I think I still have pain in my shoulder. I don't know if I tore a rotator cuff or what, but
right.
But this type of crap happens, and it does. Be careful.
It's maddening for any of you old gentlemen out there who want to join us. We're having old man talk. We have nothing else, but we'll thoroughly bore you. And what we'll do then is we'll say, can you give us any examples of people out there who are living their elder years in a particularly exciting, or should we say eccentric sort of way? Or, the world's full of interesting characters. Take Weinstein here. I wonder if this means he's going to get freed.
Oh, boy.
He's been sitting in jail for God knows how long, at least 10 years. He's rich, regardless of how much coin he's put out and shelled out to all these attorneys to get him where he's at now. He very well may get out, time will tell. Juries and jurors and people are all fallible. Doesn't matter where you come from. There's some dumb son of a bitches out there who do things criminally that. Did you notice since we were a kid, in this vein I'm talking, remember we used to watch the FBI show, like, back in the early 70s? We all thought that
Zimbalist
young
Jr.
Man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Afro man come out, the
FBI,
G-Man.
a Quinn Martin production. Yes.
The music is like great and big custom-made music productions. Bon, don, don, don. It can't happen here. Shit like this,
No,
and like drag.
They didn't do frag.
Yeah, you remember Dragnet? That was another show. Just the facts. Dun dun. Yes, today in Los Angeles, California, a man with his brain full of marijuana. He was smoking and stoned, and he was with a young girl, a teen from Helene, Kansas, who had just that morning gotten off a Greyhound. coming to the land of dreams and hope, but also the dark underbelly of Skid Row. Yeah, that's the kind of show we need those now, man. We can go down to Kensington. Maybe I'm just gonna start a show and go down to Kensington and wander around, get myself two of those big Farrakhan guards, you know, the Reverend.
Oh
my God, I could go down there and practice my ebonics. Holy crow, people. For those wondering, this is not beer. It's not apple juice. It's a glass of urine. I've gone onto this Indian Bhagavad Gita thing, and the best thing you can do. Actually, my peeps, this is a non-alcoholic beer. I'm going to have some fried shrimp shortly, and I'm going to enjoy them with my non-alcoholic beer. Speaking of which, 7 years last Sunday on Mother's Day.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
That feels good. Thank you, my friend. I got to tell you, it feels great because it just feels great. Like, I always felt great when I was drunk, except everybody else around me might not feel as great. On Hell on Wheels, as a few have found out. I am a happy drunk, however, I'm pleased to say. I just sometimes, you know, it's really funny for anybody out there who contemplates quitting, if you've ever had a problem or anything. After you get sober a few years and you're out at a bar or somewhere, there's like always yourself you recognize and someone in the room, not because they're particularly being an ass or really out of line, they're just really being funny and they don't know when to give up. And I could say that when I was in that status, I felt, you know, I at times was just over the limit of being too boisterous at the wrong place, or just sometimes even my comedy bits would be a little bit on the, God forbid, people, they were considered offensive. In some places, I could have been put in jail for decades. And they were all things along the line of, motherfucker, you know, stuff like that.
There were offensive back then. We won't even discuss what people would say about them now.
Oh, my God.
You can't get away with anything now.
Oh, think about it. We had Howard Stern that has opened every door that should have been left locked that exists in New York City. I mean, come on, man.
Well, we even had, we have had people like Mel Brooks and George Carlin, who I used to think were actually tame after a bit, after people like Stern and Richard Pryor and whatever came along.
Richard Pryor and Red Fox live out in the 60s and 70s. Man, it ain't no talking no shaky pudding. No, he's talking about little underground pantheons.
You were talking before I came on. You were talking about the Catholic Church and confession. Remember some of the routines that George Carlin used to do about that? Ooh.
Oh man, you know what I find funny about Carlin still is that, to give an example, when I lived in Florida, I wanted to move back to New Jersey. I really love it here, and I would catch Sopranos, and then I'd catch some of the Clerks guys flicks.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Kevin Smith's movies, and I would catch some of the movies that Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini was in, Jersey Shore featured areas. So I was recognized all these places, and the big Miller factory up there by the airport that's been there, Budweiser, excuse me, that's going to be gone now. I mean, it's just like, and that airport, it just seemed really big when I was a kid. I still remember being like 10, flying to Florida. My uncle drove me down and put me on the plane, and I got off in Boca and went to my other grandparents' house. And the airport seemed enormous. Plus, it was so much better back then. You know, your mom or dad could walk you down to the end of the. You didn't like once that shit came down. I was kind of glad I grew up in New York City. I knew how to get around on the bus and the train and shit like that, because that was at age. I started going down there about 8. First couple times I flew, I was a little nervous, but I will say it was so cool being in a plane. They still came and gave you your wings and crap like that. So I was, I'm sure, tormenting whoever was sitting in the row with me. I don't really remember any of that, but they were probably like, okay, get this kid some Ritalin. Well, he's kind of getting on my nerves. Cutting one-liners and shit, telling this lady next to me, that's an ugly kid you got there. I wouldn't do that in those days. I'd wait till I was at least 10. God almighty. So, have any nice plans for this beautiful weekend here?
Oh, I'm going to be busy this weekend. You may see me on the street in Highlands tomorrow. I'm going to be taking some gear from my son's place down the road from you over here to the house that I live in, and going to be out there bright and early taking care of that before the touristas come in tomorrow morning.
Before the what comes in?
The tourists.
Oh! You have.
It's getting to be that time of year.
Right. Are you going to Airbnb it or something like that while they're here, or do you do that?
No, not really.
No.
I'm planning.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, my son's going to be in town in the house in Highlands, and I'm going to be here. I'm just going to relax.
Good for you.
Got more than enough stuff that I can take care of here.
Absolutely. You know, I don't know. I can speak for myself and a lot of other people as we get older. I'd rather be at home cooking my own dinner and being in my surroundings than being anywhere else. You know, I love to go do a gig or play. You know, when we're out working, it's a different thing. And I enjoy anything that I do that would be considered work. You know, it's not like I'm, laying block every day at 65. So feels pretty good though. The only thing that's weird is as we get older, boy, it just seems like the clock ticks so much quicker.
It's really true. I mean, every week goes by for me. I could almost think of it in terms of planning for what's going on with the band, the YouTube channel, whatever. It's like everything falls into place where Tuesday I do recording, Wednesday I do this. It's like
editing. Yeah, it's good though that guys like us who have something to work on and to keep our mind focused on is much better than the people who will not do anything to exercise their mind. I'm a firm believer that if you don't use it, you lose it. Medical procedures, surgical. I worked at a vet clinic for 10 years, and I could close incisions and do all kinds of stuff that I was very adept at. After 10 years of that, I mean, I closed incisions up, inner and outer, the whole bit. I had great training. I enjoyed it, but back then, if you're just a tech, you don't make the kind of money that is worth paying for $200,000 back then worth of college and grad school on top of it. I don't know. We live in great times, though. I think, in spite of all the BS that goes on in the world, I'm still a relative optimist. I believe most people in the world, in spite of what propaganda tells every country, most of us don't hate each other. It's just not that way. I've been to many places and feel I'm pretty lucky, but everywhere you go, if you're a decent human and you're polite, you usually do okay. There are exceptions, but sometimes that's just being stupid and not learning how to read a map properly. And, if you're on a Paris train and you end up in these western suburbs, people, when you start seeing the big 80-foot Khomeini pictures on the wall, you might want to stop at the next train, cross over to the other side, and go on back on the next one because it'll get deep. There's like, an area of Paris that's just it's like going to Lebanon or something, and it's where for a while, they were having the nightly car burnings there, which is kind of something I'm glad didn't catch on. Oh, that's a bad word, catch on.
Oh, you made a pun there. I don't even think you realized it until you said it.
Oh, I don't think I did either. In fact, I guarantee you I didn't. My mind was running on autopilot for the moment.
Things are great here as far as going things day to day. I mean, I like the idea that I'm in control of my life. Where it does become interesting are those circumstances where things creep up and you don't really expect it. Over the course of the last days, I'll use this as an example. I have the YouTube channel, and like I was saying, I have a kind of a prescribed schedule every week where I plan for what I'm going to talk about. Then I do recording a certain day of the week. I do editing, whatever else. Mm-hmm. A few weeks ago, I decided that I was going to do a couple of programs on the YouTube channel about one of my favorite musicians, the guitar player from King Crimson, Robert Fripp.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Fripp's 80th birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, great. Wow, he's amazing. He's 80 years old.
He's 80 years old. And I decided about 6 weeks ago I was going to do several episodes, and I was going to space them out. So the last of the episodes, I would do 3 of them, and the third will be either right on his birthday or maybe the following day. And that kind of crept up on me where, the bottom line is yesterday I started recording, and I don't know exactly what was in me. I maybe just had a little bit too much coffee in the morning, but the episode got really, really long. And so
Really
editing took a
long.
long time.
Man, everybody who's trying to do a show, I know, because I've bit my nose off many times by accident. It's hard. And then sometimes if you get a really good bit and it's just way too long and you have to start to edit it. And I'm a firm believer that it's like, I like it when recording vocalists. I like the vocalists to come in and we take whole takes. I don't like guys who just come in and they want to comp it all together because they can't sing really. Because I don't feel they really ever get warmed up. I've had some singers come in and go out of here, and I'm like, in my head, I'm personally not satisfied with the quality of the vocal, but they are. So what for anybody out there, if you have to ask yourself, what would you do in this dilemma? A responsible engineer, if you care enough about your clients to give them the value of your expertise, you'd find the guy in the band who is obviously, if not called the leader, is the dominant individual who everybody listens to. And you just make your case about what you're unhappy about. In my case, I've done it many times because, look, there's a lot of vocalists out there who just can't fucking sing, people. And they try, and I'm all for giving people chances. And I've done things for singers like going and sang the guide vocal so that they could sing with me, and we got it done. And I felt like I gave them everything I could to get their product to sound as good as it could. I feel in my heart that I may have taught them a little something about what to listen for, because it's happened where somebody says, well, why did you do this or why did you do that? I've had my reasons, like after 1,000 times of recording somebody's vocal, even with being hard of hearing, I know the difference between a shitty recording and a good one as soon as I hear it. Main thing you have to realize if you're going deaf is most of the old gentlemen and people in our age group are, to some clinical degree, we're all a little deaf at 60. It's just part of the game and it's part of the fun. And, the fact that Robert Fripp's out there, last time I saw him out touring, he didn't look 80 and he looked like he was having a hell of a lot of fun. His lovely wife and him certainly have an entertaining style of hanging out. I like Toya. She's a real hot ticket. And
he married Toya on his 40th birthday. They're married now for 40 years.
Wow. I got married on my 40th birthday. It lasted, I don't know, somewhere under 4 years, but I do have a great son out of it now. So that's, my son is having a good time. He's at that age where life is still really fun, and I'm encouraging him to have fun, but be careful, but I feel very lucky. I have a kid who's got good head on his shoulders. He's calm. He's like a lot of things I don't have. He's calm. I have a good head on my shoulders. I just have a fairly sick sense of humor that occasionally just pops out at inopportune moments, weddings, funerals, eulogies. That's why I make the big bucks. We're going to come in and say a few words over the dear departed. In other words, as Richard Pryor said, the nigga dead.
I should mention while I'm thinking about it, because you gave me this option, this opening. I do, in fact, own a 1980 Kramer bass with an aluminum neck.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Boy, those are cool.
I bought it for next to nothing. The thing was beaten to crap when I first bought this. I've had this bass for about 25 years now.
Wow.
And it's gone through multiple paint jobs. And the last thing I did with it was I got hired at the paint job. I gave it because I didn't like it. And I ended up relicking it. I distressed the heck out of it. So there's all sorts of wearing patterns and whatever on it. I actually think it looks really good. And it sounds
good and sounds like it always did. My guy back in the day when he had one of those or borrowed it, and he had it for a while, and he had a 3-way triamp system, 2 10s, two 18s, some kind of massive horn for the high frequencies, which I don't even know why they bothered, but it was like powered like an SVT, 1,000 watts or something, split into three frequencies, crossed over. It was a beast. Similar to Leland Sklar's rig that he used that time when I forget who it was. Somebody's like, "We'll hook you up with this bass system." This thing was bigger than some rock and roll clubs like Mother's up in North Jersey back in the 70s.
Oh
This was
boy.
a big dual sugar scoops, fucking enormous, god awful PA with. I remember looking at how it was wired up and just going, I don't want to be responsible here. I'm not the headmaster of hooking this shit up. It's hooked up, but I didn't do it. If it catches fire, if you want me to hook it up, I'll be glad to do it. It's going to cost you about $500 because it was hellish. You know how live gigs can sometimes just be a mess. And so, as far as my weekend, I'm going to do I've got to do some chilling, but I've got also a lot of things to just get done that are just the chores of life. So, I am going to be having a musical garage sale for anybody watching who's looking for any guitars or various items. I have to thin the herd a little bit, and so I have an assortment of guitars, a couple of keyboards, some guitar effects. And if you're a drummer out there, if you're a Slingerland guy and you're in the Slingerland club, you can go and see my ads. I have an incredible collection of Slingerland gear. I am not getting rid of the basic aspect of the kit, but over the years I collected all of the tom necessary to make a big like an Emerson Lake and Palmer or an old Rush kit. Big tom toms everywhere, and I have all of them, bottom headed, open headed. I have an amazing assortment. So if you're looking for anything out there, folks, in gold sparkle, some of the toms I have, you could make a bitch and jazz bass drum out of, like the 18. And for those of you who know out there, I don't know if I think I still have the 18, maybe the 20. I have one of them, the big ass floor tom, people. The 20, when I play on it with a roll, it throttles your innards out about 40 feet from the stage. When I hit it, you feel a whoomph in your gut. It's obnoxiously loud. Also, for any of you drummers, I have a Rogers snare. It's a snare drum that was made out of a Rogers Dayton snare drum that back in like around 81 or 2, I was hanging out at a gig with another drummer, and he used to buy drums and odd them, fix them up, and then sell them. Well, I was in a band that we were so fucking loud. Our guitar player had 2 Marshall Stacks, plexi shit, all fucking monster head on one, monster head on the other, all tricked out, and it was loud as balls. And our other guy had a Marshall bass rig, and then he swanged out to an SVT, and we were a power trio. And let me tell you, folks, it was some loud ass shit. Big drum kit. I had a gong behind me, light it on fire, fall over on the stage. Sort of like watching my show. If we lit a gong on fire in here right now, it would fall over and hit the stage for you, the audience, the admiring people. So I see there's a few of you lurking here in the shadows. Say hello. Where are you from? We're about to leave. We've done kind of a half show with no breaks, so I am going to do a quick break. There are a couple of people on here who you're going to notice your clip's gone, man. It's just gone. It's because one of you has been dinging my show when I put you on here as an advertisement, but now I'm paying to play your stuff. It's kind of backwards. So I love all of you, my fans, and I know how things are, and we're certainly an afterthought. But if you want an ad to run, I don't think we're breaking the bank. So, if you put an ad on, or even if you haven't put an ad on, and I've said nice things about you, when I play your music after you sang, I can play it, and they send you that little form of who's getting money dinged. Hey, what are you doing, huh? Give me a break here, people. I gotta eat a buck, I won't have to go down there to TJ Fridays every night for that grizzly freaking mystery meat steak they're selling for $12, throttling out the door. It's like a fucking hockey puck, little shit thing. Swear to God, you go in any of these chain restaurants, this shit's all frozen, people. It's horrendous. It's like awful. They even put fake grill marks now on steaks in several of the well-known chains, peeps. You know, I don't know about you. I don't mind paying great money for great food and service. I love a great restaurant. Ever since COVID came and went, restaurants have shrunk the portions. The quality has gone down tremendously. And I don't care what anybody says. The young people who are serving, who lived through COVID, they're all socially inept. They won't look at you. And I can just tell you, people, I run into them. They can't make change or look you in the eye when you say, "Hi, how are you?" And they look at you like, they're in fear for their life. I noticed it a lot. And then I just noticed the general lack of, like, man,
I'm laughing at Susan's comment. She is so right.
I mean, really, it's like when the aliens come down here after they've had their 800th anal probe. They've got Billy Bob up there. They have a couple of beanheads chicks from Colombia who they ask them what they're protesting. They have no fucking idea. And I'm just like, at least when we were protesting, we knew a lot of these kids are just like, I don't know that. I don't know this. You don't know a hell of a lot anyway. But, I like many old men, people, I know and will bitch that the world will be totally lost without me and the other old men who've been running the show. And I don't think that way at all. But that doesn't change the fact that there's still a surprising number of dumb fucks who are poorly educated compared to our generation. I'm sorry. Look at our parents. My parents' education in grammar school is higher level than the shit they teach high school students these days. And believe me, kids back then didn't have it any easier. They didn't have calculators. We had slide rules and we had all the other tools to learn. You had to do the times tables. Hopefully not with some sinister person beating your ass with a stick to do the times tables till you learn them. There's all kinds of way to learn. I can tell you from having experienced both that in general, the stick method doesn't work. It just, if you're trying to teach them something, don't beat the shit out of them while you're doing it. Make it fun and they'll learn. But I move on. So we're going to go and take a quick list here and change into the new, they call these media assets now. And here's our good friend with the beard. Bye. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve, Fridays on the...
Hi, I'm Darren F. Flynn, a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on Live with Neve.
I would have said it couldn't happen here.
All right, everybody, here we are. We are back. I have recently just added here to the right side of the stage, you will see a Live with Neve thing right there. And we're going to go ahead and open up the phones. If anybody's out there and you need some questions answered, you have dreams you want to tell us about so we can crush them and leave you in the gutter crying like a baby. or you can call in with a particular moral conundrum, and between Bill and I, will do our best to address and bless the issue at hand.
Probably talking to the wrong people if you have a moral conundrum.
Yes, you do. That's why they're watching my show. Oh, man, we have a big tent, people. So that's all I can tell you, man. Come on in. We love you. If you're lost and lonely, are you sitting on a bag eating Cheetos in your underwear? Well, you got to give me $1,000. And I just ripped that joke off from Ron Tater Salad, who I happened to watch an episode of Ron White the other day, and I laughed my ass off. Another thing to remember, folks, if you occasionally wake up and you're a little pissed off the world and you're frustrated, you got a day ahead of you you can't stand, get out your YouTube and pop on some comedy. Uh, I don't recommend George Carlin, not because he's not fucking hysterical. It's just he's a little cynical like I am at this point. So he's not exactly a cheery comic to wake up to. You're telling us how bad we're all going to die. But he's true. It's right. And I kind of agree with things. They're not looking so good at times. But I also live by the standard that, you know, this shit that goes on, we ain't the first generation that's faced this. We're a bunch of pussies compared to our grandparents. And then the farther you go back, our great grandparents, the suckier it got. I'm sorry, ancient Rome fighting with a fucking sword in the forest between Germany and Switzerland and northern Europe, northern Italy, and you know, it sucked, people. You fucking walk and you got some general asshole on a horse. Hurry it up, you're not moving fast enough. Well, get me a horse, I'll be able to fucking keep up, asshole. I would have probably been hung and crucified within a week for shit like that. So I don't know where this is going, but sometimes in trying to keep people entertained on the radio, you'll do a lot of things. So
our
we have it right
grandparents and
there.
our great grandparents are in the afterlife looking down on us, and they're saying, "We gave our lives for these people." Holy
shit! Holy shit! I'm gonna go talk to the big man, see if he can't smite these assholes. See, I'd probably get kicked out of heaven for shit like that. Yeah, if you're sitting up there, I don't know what heaven's going to be. There's so many theories, and all versions people think have different ideas. And I've joked. I said, you know, my idea, I'm going to talk to God and say, look, I just want the top floor of, say, the ghost of the Waldorf Astoria in New York. My grandfather worked there. He's probably roaming around ghosting the place. I could go there and live and have all the old musicians and people, Cab Calloway running around. That's my idea of heaven. You know, you could have a couple of drinks and not worry. It's like getting the free virgins in Islam, you know. It's better. You get 900 bottles of Crown Royal and your liver doesn't explode. That's what can I tell you. It sounds like a good bit of heaven for some people, you know. How many alcoholics people are out there dropping over from bad livers? You know, you go to heaven. We'll give you a little incentive next time we want to fill up the poor plate. Forgive me if you think I'm cynical, people, but if you look in the Wikipedia, they have a picture of me sitting there with a bad look on my face. And you wonder, why am I cynical? No, you don't really. Nobody gives a shit because we've all got things to worry about out there. All we're doing sitting here is trying to get a few yucks from a few of our friends around the world. And sometimes we educate. Sometimes we educate you in things not to do. We typically avoid the, what are they, 7 or 10 words? I forget. George had quite a long list last.
Although he amended it. I think he brought it up from 7 to 10 and then scaled it back to 8.
Okay. Do you recall the ones that were scaled back, perhaps?
Well, we're not being censored, so I'll just go ahead. You know, the 7 original words that you can't say on television are shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. Yes. He added to that original 7, he added tits, turd, and twat. Or rather, no.
Twat's a great one.
Yeah. Actually,
you know, if you have like a Karen. Say that again?
I said tits twice. So it wasn't one of the ones he added because it was already on the original list.
Oh.
Remember, I had to think to myself what the third one was.
Shit, piss, tits, tot, cocksucker, motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not on radio, people. This isn't terrestrial. And to answer this, we have a question from the lovely and talented Susan. How can Leland Sklar find his mouth to eat? Well, you know,
he's been doing it for a while. He's got to be at his 80s at this point.
I think he's 79 or 80, and I tell you what, he does like his food. You know, he eats well. The only time I've ever seen him eat was rehearsals for the Phil Collins tour, like in the final tour of 1982 or 4, whenever it was, a long time.
It was 85 that Lee was in Phil's band. I actually saw that tour.
Yeah, that was a great tour. In the round tour, it was just fucking ridiculous. And people, let me tell you something. One of the coolest moments I had being involved in that whole rehearsal series for a month or two was watching him on the day. It's funny. I was driving in Lakeland, Florida, and I see this Willie's Jeep from the 50s ride by, and I pull up at the light, and I look over, and it's bloody Phil Collins. Now, I didn't know he was in town at the arena that I was about to start installing video camera equipment, high-powered surveillance. I mean, we're putting in $150,000-$200,000 worth of cameras in the arena. So the good old Sheriff Grady Judd, I voted for you, Grady. If I live there ever again, I'll vote for you again. Grady, the hanging sheriff of Polk County. For those of you who aren't familiar with Grady Judd, you ought to watch his show. He is one of the most media crazed police officers, but he has got it down now to a T. He's so funny. There's always this one moron reporter who's in his press conferences. Like, I'll give you an example, folks. The assailant allegedly stole a car 2 days after breaking out of jail. He goes up to a 7-Eleven, drags some young mother out of the car, hops in and cruises off with the screaming toddler in the back. You can't get much stupider than these guys. Believe me, people. Criminals are stupid, and that's why they're criminals. There's very few criminal masterminds who can get away with a lot of shit. You got to be like Weinstein to do that shit, and you're not, so don't try it. I'm just getting it started. Grady had this guy driving around. He assaults numerous people. He's crashing cars. He's running into police cars. They're chasing him for an hour. Eventually, the car's been hit, run over stop sticks, pitted so many times, and the fucker gives out. Homeboy hops out and takes off running. And he gets like maybe 100 feet from the cops. He turns around and he's got a couple of guns, a couple of clips. And he does that really great handgun style that you never were taught in handgun school. And then, the cops, there was only like 20 of them there. And if you figure 16 shots per clip, a good cop could probably roll through a clip in 8-9 seconds. They hit him 64 times out of approximately 120 shots fired in the fusillade. And I'll just tell you that is some fucked up video because you don't have to look. It's the sonics of how many guns were firing simultaneously. But the reason that I find this humorous, first off, folks, I don't lie at people dying. But when they're dumb fucks who are trying to rob people with gunpoint and you have 90 priors and they're just an asshole, call me a mean man. I'm a mean motherfucker, man. I'd hang him personally. I'd be the judge in town here if I could, if we had that shit going on. But, I'm very liberal on social causes, If I caught a couple of stoners smoking weed and throwing joints or something in the alley, I'd just make them pick up trash for a week. I could be a benevolent dictator. That's why the country needs me after Donald Trump. I'm convinced that when Neil is king, the town will swing, man. I guarantee it. I'm going to get the black guy from New York State or up in New Hampshire, wherever he is, Buckethead, man. His deal, people, is everybody gets a pony. So I'm going to hire him in the country. He's going to be like the head of, we got rid of a lot of departments that were unnecessary. So now we'll have the Department of Pony Ride Sales. They will make sure that every new child is given a pony and a 2-acre paddock for it. And food for the first 2 years. Then they can sell the damn things for dog food. Sorry. That's incredibly horrible, people. But Mr. Ed is not pleased.
Hello. I am Mr.
Ed. I tell you, it's a bad sign. Wilbur, goddamn. I liked Mr. Ed. I liked it when he conned Mrs. Drysdale's secretary. He'd call her up and he'd pretend he was flirting with her and stuff. These are some great skits,
Yeah, we're both showing our age because these shows are 60 years old now.
I know, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe I'm going to be 65, man. I just feel that, I didn't even think I'd make 30, but here I am. So I've learned to enjoy the ride. It's a lot better than all I can say, people. Warren Zevon said it best, man. Enjoy every freaking sandwich you can. Because one day, it's like Neil Young said, ain't got no T-bone, got mashed potatoes. Which few people have not heard that song. Look, I like Neil Young as much as the next guy. I appreciate him. He's written some classic shit. But the song, I think it's on He was an album, maybe it's called Trans, either him or Zevon did it, but he has this song called Ain't Got No T-Bone, Got Mashed Potato, and that is the full extent of the lyrics. It just kind of hops along for an awkward 32 measures or something that's like even one is too much. At any rate, let's just say it wasn't one of Neil's better guitar songs or singing jobs. God.
Yeah, it sounds that was the period when Neil was trying to get out of his contract with David Geffen, I think.
Yeah, I think he did. Probably sending shit like that up to Geffen's office. The little midget bastard was having a fucking fit, probably. I'll ruin him! I'll kill him! I'll kick him! He'll never work in town again! You know? Fucking Canadians! Yeah, I can hear people out there. I don't know if any of you know it. I think I've told Bill this one before, but if anybody out there can name me who was Rick James' roommate when he first moved to L.A., and Bill, he can get it. I'll get him one too. If anybody knows that within the next minute or so, let me know, and I will tell you.
I don't know, but I can make an educated guess. It's one of two people.
Go ahead. Let's take a guess here.
It's either Neil Young or Bruce Palmer.
Neil Young. You go to the top of the class, man. Yep.
Neil Young was a member of the Mighty Birds with Rick James up in Winnipeg.
Yes, absolutely. That's why you make the big bucks there, like I do. We're getting so rich, people. We're fucking filthy rich, man. I'm telling you. In fact, this is my new Crystal Cathedral behind me. I'm going to be preaching there for the rest of my life. Don't worry, peeps. It's like a very nice prosperity church. It's like Scientology light. Okay, I'm going to give you the basics on this. You sign up. We got a little uniform for you. You know, kind of looks like you got a fez. In fact, everybody gets a fez. And then I put you out in Clearwater, Florida, home of Scientology, and I put you on every corner with a monkey and an organ grinder. And while we're collecting money, the people in Clearwater who hate Scientologists, I'm getting clear, man. Because I'll write a book about getting clear because I'll have enough money to give it to the Scientologists when I clear out the cleared people below me. Because my theory is it's basically like multi-level marketing, you know. You get into that stuff, and I'm sorry, if I have a Scientologist here and you want to call me and talk about it, I'd love to talk about it. I've had a great amount of experience having lived in Clearwater and been employed, worked in Clearwater a lot. So you run into Scientologists, and the first thing anybody from New Jersey said, "What's up with all the guys in the fucking suits?" They have them, they're called the Sea Org, and they look like Girl Scouts, sea Girl Scouts, little naval Girl Scouts, little anchors on their epaulet. I think that's the word, epaulet. It's like what soldiers have. They have a little hat like the little naval girls. And you see them walking. And, you know, I'm always a friendly and charming person. I love to go up and say hello to some Scientologists, but they just don't. I don't know, man. They just haven't taken me seriously. I asked them point blank a few questions, you know, like, how's the food? The food was good. Got the attention of one of them, and I'm walking along with them. I wish I had video in those days, because it would have been fun. I walk a little farther, and I'm like, so where are you guys going? Can I go with you? And they're like, starting to get annoyed after about 30 seconds of my great charming personality. And I said, look, I ain't got the duds, but how much do you guys pay, you know? And they were just like, honestly, most of them wouldn't even listen, but they're regimented. From what I understand, I now have the Scientology lawyers, but it's been alleged, you fuckers. They do all kinds of weird stuff. I'm sorry. You know, the guy who runs the place, they haven't seen his wife in 40 years or something. They probably did her like Lennon, man. She's in the mausoleum somewhere in the big Scientology complex. Here she is. She's so clear, man. We got to fucking fog the tank up. Keep the moths out of there and shit, you know? But that's a weird religion. So for anybody out there who wants to enlighten us with any stories of how you joined and escaped their clutches, I wonder if it's like in Judaism when you get a divorce, you have to have a get. You know, you gotta get some money, people. I like that idea. You know, that's always, I always say, you know, don't leave money on the table. Yeah, I think you're right. they're confused. But hey, the Mormons have kind of a cool thing. You can have 8 women if that's what you want. I don't think I can deal with that at all. It's just like any man just wants any more than one, you're doomed. Just trust me, man. I can tell you, people, it is just a cold ass world out there. So when you make relationships, man, be careful. And don't marry a Scientologist if you have any money without a prenup. In fact, don't marry anybody. Yeah, yeah. You know, I wonder what was the year when prenups became the thing everybody had to do. What was the wedding, or what broke the world that everybody after that in LA or New York or Miami Beach on amongst the glitterati, or the free range root as I like to call them. What can I tell you? What do you think? What was the case that broke that? Anybody out there remember, like, who got divorced that was an absolute nightmare? And I don't mean
I think I
what was that?
remember, actually. It's like 1984 or 85. I think it was Lee Marvin who got divorced. And his wife hired Marvin Mitchelson.
Oh, ouch.
And that was all she wrote.
And just thinking of the kind of personality Lee Marvin had, that day he got his subpoena, I bet he was not a happy clam.
Oh, I can imagine.
Men were different back then. I mean, we all know it. Some of us were raised by those guys. They were tough bastards, man, I learned the hard way. That's why I have a great right hook, man. Duck it. Keep a fist up. Old bastard hit me again. Anyway, I'm kidding, but, kind of halfway. That was an odd generation. They were, some of them, man, I had some family members that just were, they were a piece of cake people. I had one who just looks I'm out at dinner with them, a bunch of people around. And this asshole looks at the black guy who lit a cigarette for him. That's how long ago it was. Lights a cigarette for this joker. And the guy, what did he say to him? He goes, "Hey, boy, thank you for lighting that cigarette. I'll probably give you a pretty good tip tonight." I just wanted to cringe, man. And he kept calling him boy. And I finally said, when the guy left, I said, "You cut that shit out." My mom's such a great mom. She gave me a kick under the table in my knee. "Knock it off, Ernie." She didn't like it any more than I did, but she didn't like the scene I was causing with the person. The person who was getting the best of my ire, will say it that way. Remember, people, if I like you, man, I like you to death. If I don't like you, I won't be mean. I just don't want you around, and I don't really particularly want to see you or deal with you. If you're a person who's cruel to people who are, you think they're of some lower social class or something, just go somewhere else. Because the real people who have more money than any of us have manners, and they don't act like what people think they do. People who work to achieve a great success don't get it by being like dumb or not working hard. And I don't know. That's my motivational talk for all of you people. If you're sitting at home listening to my TV right now, you need to go get on YouTube, watch all 500 episodes of this show, and then write me a synopsis and tell me what you've learned, because all of life's answers are within this show at one point or another. You will have some laughs along the way. You'll say a few things where you'll hear one of my guests or myself say, "I don't know if I would have told that," but you will definitely have an education in life. Oh, man, that was great. I like that. Is that a timing message, a reminder, or is it a phone call?
That was a phone call.
All right.
From a blocked number.
Well,
so it got thrown to the bin.
Good. I enjoy nothing more than blocking these people. Susan, you have a great weekend too, love. I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, Susan. You too.
Tomorrow. Appreciate you stopping by for the round table of older guys. We'll call today's episode.
She hung with us the entire hour. I'm impressed.
I am too. She's a sweetheart. And there's still a few people lingering. Everybody in there, drop us a line. Leave us your email. I'll send you an update when we're going live. And we always, if you want to be a guest, if you have a cool story to tell, you have a life problem, think of us as all the talk shows. In fact, you can stump the band here. Like, you can tell us how you'd like to be abused. We could do it the Jerry Springer format. People fighting. You can tell us tales of divorce and woe. Or I can do kind of a question and answer where Bill and I will play devil's advocate with you. You can tell us your problem, and then we'll both pick it apart, or we'll argue for or against your kerfluffle, if you will. It could be anything.
I never really aspired to be Jerry Springer. I wanted to be Maury Povich. When
yeah,
it comes to such, you are the father.
You are the father, and that's always the best. But some poor goof. I always wonder, though, it's always terrible when there's an interracial mistake either way, and the kid comes out and somebody's pissed off, and all hell breaks loose. There's like YouTube videos of this kind of shit, and people are out of their mind, man. I have to tell you, folks, just all I can say is do your best to be kind, abide where you can, and just run when you can't, because some shit's too fucked up to even contemplate. Just thinking about how to solve some problems will get so bad into your nervous system, you'll lower your IQ or something will happen. I mean, look at me. I started out with 15,000 IQ points, and they're all down to like 80 now. I'm somewhere on this small
you watch enough Jerry and Maury, and your IQ definitely.
That'll happen. Yeah, clinical studies have shown a couple of points per episode. If you're the kind who had this Jerry Springer on videotape, all the episodes, you have bigger problems. But I know some very good therapists who can help. That's your particular problem, is you're in Jerry Springer mode. Like I said, call the show. We'll hook you up. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm going to get rid of this lame ending because I put it up once and I just haven't made a new one. And it's just me and my old band having fun at a party, celebrating our bass player's birthday. So there was a lot of fun. And I remember there was some kind of events of unusual nature at this gig, but it was at a different time and place, and so was I. So hope you enjoy it. Bill, I'll talk to you this next couple days. Give me a call tomorrow if you're roaming around town. Maybe I'll see you.
I just might do that. Thank you.
You know, I'll be out buzzing around in the morning. You know, like how it is. I just go down to the store. I just go out like Kurt Vonnegut says, just to go fuck around, you know. Drive around the neighborhood, see what's happening, see some children walking, dogs chasing each other or the cat, whatever. All right, people. Happy Friday. Be nice. Be the best you can be. Play outro.